Okay, everyone. This isn't a rant video, and by the way, new headset. Went early Christmas shopping for myself because my sister was never gonna replace the one she broke. Um, this I've been sitting on for a while since Volume 7 started because going into Volume 7, if you've seen my other videos, I've honestly expressed that I had little interest in what the main characters were doing. I tried to guess what they were doing. Yeah, Yang has taken a back seat. I was wrong about Weiss. Weiss. This should have been Weiss's arc, and she's done shit. Nothing. She's really kind of coming across as a secondary character in her own homeland. It's weird. Ruby met the makers, farting around with Penny, but it hasn't had the emotional depth that we thought it was gonna get. What I am gonna talk about is the goal of Atlas. My main thing with Atlas, the biggest thing I was hyped for going into it, it was why, if people want to know why I was invested in Adam Taurus, it had to do with I'm invested in the oppression storyline of Ruby. I know it's a secondary storyline because it stems from Blake, but that's what I was invested in. I wanted to see how the oppression storyline. I like revolutions. I like that type of thing. In a lot of anime, when someone uprises, and I'm often intrigued to see how they resolve themselves. Are they gonna go for the power of friendship, power of love bullshit? Because one of the most interesting factors in life is that most revolutions will lead to some form of violence. There has to be sacrifice, has to be bloodshed. It's just how human history works. It's how I've studied it, it's how I've seen it. It's like the whole power of friendship shit is an anime trope that's just annoying as shit. And it's not very often we get to see in forms of anime where sacrifice actually leads down a path that you see a genuine resolution. So going into Volume 7, my biggest interest was how the Faunus aspect of Atlas is going to be treated. And we went through multiple things from saying slavery couldn't exist. We came up with ideas for curfews that just isolate the Faunus, and humans have free will to do whatever they want. Maybe Faunus are not allowed to vote, and humans are. We explored a lot of different dynamics in my past videos on how they could show that the Faunus live there, work there, but essentially have no rights. Maybe they're fighting for rights. That could have been a reason why Sienna suggested violence when necessary, and why Adam went off the deep end. It could have been something as simple as that, but the thing I've come after 7 episodes, the thing that I've come to learn and accept is Rwby Volume 7 and its goal of what it wants to show us. Please don't get mad with this, but it has nothing to do with the Ruby we watched from volumes 1 to, I would say, about 4. Yeah, up to 4. I'll give 4 credit. Four kept in line with the consistencies of the Faunus there. 5 it started to get a bit wonky, but I would say 1 to 4 easy. Yeah, 7's not the same show in regards to the Faunus, because when we've got into Atlas, the goal hasn't been to show us these press subspecies and the subspecies fighting back. That hasn't been the goal, and that should have been the goal of the show, because that's what the show has shown us up till now. Instead, the goal of the show in Volume 7 is something that just stems from real life politics. And please don't get mad when I say this stuff. I'm legit trying to be as honest and truthful as I can. It's the idea of the rich versus the poor ideology. And I know and the fact that Robin Hood exists in it, is just screaming at you in your face. It's like, basically, big corporations and rich people are evil, and the poor are the victims. Feel sorry for the friggin' poor. Let's blame the big corporations. And I find this shit to be hilarious, considering that Rooster Teeth is a corporation backed by a big corporation. Like, this is basically like Rooster Teeth saying, AT&T, fuck you, you're the problem of the world. We're this indie corporation fighting for the man. I mean, it's pretty pathetic if you actually believe you're going to accomplish something like that. And I'm surprised AT&T had, well, people are getting fired, but for different reasons. We're not getting into that. Not going off topic. The thing that I see from real life in American politics that perfectly reflects Volume 7 is Bernie Sanders. Perfectly. This man is a... Some people think he's a friggin' idol. Others like me see him as a delusional idiot. Because he's basically, in every tweet you see this old fart bloody tweet on, companies are the bad men. Amazon didn't pay the tax. This is blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna give free shit. It's like, I want to see him elected just to see him fail at this point. That's my thought with Bernie Sanders. I actually want to see him get elected next year just to see him fuck up America over 4 years. Or maybe not deliver on his promises. But in terms of Rwby, the problem is the whole Atlas is evil. No matter who you are, if you're from the Flying City, you're evil because you're not protecting the lower class and giving them the free shit that they need. And it's, in this regard, this is where it becomes confusing. Because, as you've seen with the Faunus, all of a sudden, Rooster Teeth and, Rwby and the show Rwby's priorities on the Faunus are mixed up. And we've actually seen this in a very recent episode with Marrow confronting Robin Hill, and he's like, yeah, I get there's bad shit going on, but I make do with the best that I can. It's like, yeah, my people go through some shit, but look at me, I'm in the military, I'm one of the highest ranking officers, and I'm making my way. He goes, it's like, life's shit, but you do your best. And this is Rwby writing it. So it's like they've said, up till now, it's like the past volumes 1 to 4, it's like they've gone, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives are oppressed. And then you get to 5 to 7, and especially 7, and it's like, yeah, Black Lives Matter was bullshit. There are rich black people and there are poor black people, and we're focusing more on the poor people being the victims now. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, you can do that. If you had another show, by all means, do it. If you want to do that for like Genlock or something else, do it. But don't do it in Rwby. Because Rwby is this fictional world where you've created this law, and now I'm just like, you've shit on your own law. Atlas should have been this place where we've seen the Faunus treated the worst. This should have been the place where they get treated like absolute shit. And instead, well, you got your rich... You don't have your rich Faunus, but like you got your better off Faunus, you got your Faunus that are getting by, none of them are being discriminated against. And it's like Mantle's the victim. The Faunus are not the victim, Mantle is the victim. And I'm like, your priorities for your whole show changed when you did this, and that's why I don't get. People are like, oh, Volume 7's the best season yet, and I'm like, but it just took a dump on its own lore. The world building that you created for a whole species has been thrown down the toilet just so you can put real life politics into the friggin' show. And it's at this point, like, why I'm feeling down and why I'm probably dropping this show after Volume 7 is like, I went into Volume 7 with, like, this is my last hope. Deliver on the Faunus discrimination. Make me care about the show. And they've basically done Volume 7 and they don't care. They don't care. Rwby doesn't fucking care. They brought in 2 new writers and they're like, oh yeah, they watched the show, they're passionate. And it's like, congratulations, we're getting the 2016 election in Rwby. We're getting the Russians got involved, and that's the only reason Jacques Trump got in. We're getting your Bernie Sanders, victim of the poor, bloody the, and you've basically taken all these political ideas of real life that Rooster Teeth is known to support, and you've taken Volume 3, the Vital Tournament and the Fall of Beacon, and you basically just merged them together and been like, aren't we fucking geniuses? And I'm like, no. Because what you gave us, to me personally, it's not Rwby. This isn't a fictional world of Rwby that I signed up for. I'm just like, what the fuck am I watching? This Rwby Volume 7, this is how I'm going to sum up this video. It comes across as political propaganda. You could probably argue it comes across as political propaganda for the real world. It's like, don't vote Trump, vote Bernie Sanders, feel sorry for the small guy. It's like, that's what it is. It has its moments, don't get me wrong. It's heavy on the fucking Bumblebee. It's heavy, it's got the Renora shit going. And the parts that do give me hope is when the show's fully aware of what it's doing. As I said, with Marrow barking back at Robin Hill, it's like, hey, we get treated like shit, but we have to make do. It's like, the Renora kiss happened, and next episode, Nora's going off her brain like a batshit dipshit, and Ren's like, no, I agree with Ironwood. So it's like a real like couple. You're getting people tossing up between 2 different ideologies, so I give them credit for that. They're not fully. It's like Rwby's not fully on one side. You can see some writing directions, like, we have to explore both sides. We have to show both sides. But in this case, I don't want Marrow and Ren to come out and just be like, oh, we were wrong, forgive us. Because you're not wrong. And I'm not saying that Nora is batshit crazy. I really don't get what the fuck she's on about. Like, this is going to be a new ship. Robin Hill, Nora Valkyrie. Mantle cut cunt lickers. But that's all this video is, because like, what is it? We're watching like the final episode for 2019, and it's just like, based on what they've shown us, I just don't care anymore. The one thing I was invested in, the one thing that after 6 years of watching this show I was invested in, you just got rid of. And I'm just like, why? 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 Was it really this important to push your political agenda down people's throats? And the way that you get this across, it's actually a form of brainwashing. All this Bumblebee and shit, it's like, we're pandering to the fan base while throwing a political idea into their face. It's like, hey, we'll give you fan service, vote Bernie Sanders. Rwby Volume 7, people. That's how I sum it up.